Now, Kamala, I don't know if you noticed, if you paid attention to the news lately, Kamala has decided that the American people don't like her policies, and she's exactly right about that. Just take one, immigration. Kamala Harris, remember, she suspended deportations on day one. She stopped Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. That was on day one, and that's why we have a wide open southern border. But I read a story this morning that her advisors are considering just copying all of Donald Trump's policies. They're more popular. In fact, I've heard that for her debate in just a couple of weeks, she's going to put on a Navy suit, a long red tie, and adopt the slogan, "Make America Great Again." I think that's what... But we're not going to let the American people forget that Kamala Harris is the candidate of American decline. Now, I have lived, and I know a lot of us in this crowd have lived the consequences of these failures. And I saw it very personally, my friends. My parents divorced. My family began to struggle. My mom, God love her, she found solace in the prescription pain pills that a lot of kids and a lot of adults were getting hooked on. And then eventually she moved on to some harder stuff. Now, I will tell you that I thought I would lose my mom when I was a kid. And I prayed every single day that she would somehow find her way to a second chance. And I'm very proud, my friends, to tell you, not only did my mom find a second chance, but she's here with us today campaigning with me in the state of Michigan. Now, she is, I will say, the best grandmother that my kids could ask for. They are 7'4". Donald Trump stopped the stupid wars and stood up to the bad guys all over the world. He recognized what our failed leadership didn't, that weakness invites American boys and girls to wars that they shouldn't have to fight. American strength promotes peace, and we had a hell of a lot of peace when Donald J. Trump was the President of the United States. I got to get whatever we fed these guys behind me. They're having a good time. Our border, my friends, our border was secure. Overdose deaths were coming down where they had gone up for 15 years. And a lot of people who struggled in my... Kamala Harris even went on national TV and said Joe Biden was as sharp as a tack. Even he was clearly mentally incompetent to do the job. And so it's obvious what's been going on, right? Kamala Harris has been calling the shots. And by lying about his mental fitness for the job, she got what she always wanted, which was more power. And what was the result? On her watch, gas prices are up 50%. Housing costs have doubled. You talk to a young person today, young people cannot afford to buy a home in their own country. We're turning a generation of 20 and 30-year-olds into permanent debtors. Donald Trump and I believe young people ought to own a stake in their own country, be able to build a life and start a family. That's what we're fighting for. Americans can't afford groceries because of your leadership, Kamala. Young people can't afford homes because of the policies that you have enacted as vice president. Now, the only serious consequence in November that I'm worried about is giving Kamala Harris a disastrous promotion. Let's say to Kamala Harris, you are fired. We are not sending you to the Oval Office. Now, my favorite line from Kamala is she says, if you elect her president, she is going to fix it all on day one. Well, Kamala, I hate to break it to you, but day one was 1,300 days ago. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. What the hell have you been doing during all that time? The message from this crowd and this state of Michigan is you had your chance, you failed, and we're not giving you a promotion. Now, Kamala Harris has run her entire campaign on the idea that she's joyful. But ask yourself, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? The only person in America who could possibly answer yes to that question is probably Kamala Harris herself. She went from getting no votes for president and having to drop out to getting no votes for president and becoming the Democrat nominee, all without lifting a finger. No wonder Kamala's joyful. Now, never mind the fact that Americans can't afford groceries. Kamala got her promotion. Never mind that our fellow citizens can't afford their rent because Kamala, she's having fun. And never mind that Kamala Harris is on the cusp of running us into World War III. Kamala will laugh all the way to the bank while her donors get rich, and we know it's not going to be her family's sacrifice. But I got to tell you, as much as I am frustrated with Kamala Harris, I am so hopeful about the future of our country. We have the most beautiful country in the entire world, don't we? I've been flying around the country, I've been driving around the country, and you get a new perspective running to be the next vice president that I'm so grateful for. We've got natural resources all across this country that are the envy of the world, my friends. We just need better leadership. It is that simple. Better leadership, that's all we need to fix this country. So here's what we're going to do, and we'll offer a little contrast. Kamala Harris wants to open the border. On day one, Donald Trump is going to close the southern border, and his message to every illegal immigrant is pack your bags because you're going home. Kamala Harris wants to bankrupt Medicare by giving it to illegal aliens. Donald Trump is going to fight to safeguard Medicare and all of our great programs so that it only goes to the American citizens who paid into it, not to illegal aliens who are going to bankrupt it. Now, Kamala Harris wants to shut down American energy and drive manufacturing out of this country. Donald Trump has a different idea. He is going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to unleash American workers and bring back those great factories. Kamala Harris wants to reward companies that ship American jobs overseas, and she wants to raise taxes